This morning we have called a meeting from 9 to 12. As you see, the meeting is still in progress, and we have tabled the agenda for the members, letting them know that we had a meeting with the board, and the matters that arose out of that meeting with the board, we confronted the teachers with them, and we also entertain a question and answer period on that, because the most important concern for us now that was left is, now that Mr. Duncan, as chairman of the board, has decided publicly that he will not remove Ms. Nelson out of the position. What next? We have a school year coming up, 2018-2019. What next? We need to inform our members, Julie, and we also need to get back to the board with all the concerns and all the issues that are surrounding. So our coupling back with the board will be tomorrow, Thursday, the 9th of August at 2 p.m. We would be meeting again with the board to be able to iron out these last points. Of course, today in this meeting, we also heard a number of additional issues, and we had a number of queries from the teachers. Seemingly, in their queries and some of the concerns that have been put out is that the contracts, the way how the contracts are being set up, and that's an issue of school board. They are not specifically putting a scale and a trader, how we would say, the step of which they only are put the amount of what the teacher is making. Then another issue is the fact that the school board, and it was also in the newspaper today, they are changing the system, and there are some confusing and conflicting things because the minister did not approve as yet to change to CCLC, or whatever you would call that type of system as yet. So it was like PSVE would no longer be the system, and basically this is an additional concern of the teachers that they were not trained in that system. One of the persons that had training in that type of system but was working for other school board is not even being afforded the opportunity to share the information with their colleagues. And basically those are the concerns which are additional concerns. We will be inventorizing them, but as the part of Miss Nelson and the removal of Miss Nelson, the board made it emphatically clear that they, at this late time, cannot remove Miss Nelson due to the fact that they had to start a procedure of, putting out a vacancy, getting interviews, and recruiting of a person for that. And with the start of the new school year, it would be quite impossible. Basically, the teachers are based on what is transpired. It is not a question for them of pay. We don't like Miss Nelson. It is a question of, in the function of leadership, it is not working out. You should have a vision, and the whole way of how this principal goes about certain issues, especially as it relates to the progress of the school, because this is a school that the teachers here are priding had a 90-something% pass rate, and this year already it had dropped. It demotivates the teachers, the way she goes about, the way she shares the information, and the way, the whole leadership skills are not in the right perspective to be conducive for learning according to the teachers. So we will wrap up our conclusion and get back to the board and see what actions or what further actions will be taken.
SXM, connecting you.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Calling all residents of St. Martin, regardless of the district you live in, your religion, your country of origin, or the amount of money you make. I'm calling on you to fight for St. Martin, because the future of St. Martin is at risk if we do not act. We must combat all forms of crime and violence and improve the safety and security, or there will be no prosperity for anyone. There are many things that make St. Martin great. Our beaches, our hospitality, our nightlife, and our standard of living. And after Irma, we saw many people behave differently than they would on ordinary days. And we all decided to clean up St. Martin by starting with our own yards and then helping others around us. We are still busy cleaning up St. Martin, and together, but crime and violence will erode everything that we have worked hard to achieve, that our parents and grandparents have worked hard to achieve. It will erode our economy and the St. Martin that we love. Ending crime and violence in our community is a priority, and it is the only way, with the help of the community, that we can end this. We all would like to prosper in a peaceful environment, and it will take all of us to fight or to combat crime and violence. In order to eliminate crime, it will take the police and the community. St. Martin is only 37 square miles, and like Mr. Swazi said, the gale does not stop at the border, and I echo his sentiments in saying that crime does not stop at the border. On Friday, I will be meeting with the Prefet to ensure that we continue working together in this area as well as others. We will all have to work together, talk with each other, listen to one another, and at times we might even have to pray together. Right, Minister Smith? And equally important, we all have to act in unison. It is easier than we think, but change comes with challenges. But change always comes. As Minister of Justice, I denounce all senseless killings. I denounce all unacceptable behavior by men and women in blue. I denounce any form of violence against others. I denounce any form of human exploitation, trafficking, or smuggling. I denounce our students who take weapons or drugs to school. We have to go to the root of the problems and pull them up before they become thorns in our side or in our faces. I believe that the system is designed to work, beginning in our homes, neighborhoods, schools, social and labor assistance, mental health, Turning Point, Court of Guardianship, Miss Lally Center, and the entire justice chain. The system must work. We all have to pay to make it work, or we will pay because it is not working. We need to hire police officers, camera observers, prison guards, custom officers, and immigration officers. This comes with a price as well, or we will pay the price in the near future. We are asking our police and the entire justice chain to serve and protect, despite all the illegal guns on the road, despite the gangs, and despite not having all the resources that they need. So please understand that they need your support. They also have to earn your trust, and this is a two-way street.
Hey ma, how you doing? You busy?
I hear, just paying some bills, taking care of business, you know what it is?
I know, you're doing your online banking.
I don't have to stand in those long lines to pay bills. I can transfer when I want. I can check my account wherever. It's like the bank open 24/7. I even here checking the statement right now as we're talking. How's Miami?
Well, that's why I'm calling. I'm finishing up a few songs now, but I'm afraid that studio time might be more than I thought. And I was wondering if I could get some help with some funds, and I could pay you back as soon as I get back to St. Martin.
Let me check my account. How much you need?
I think 500 should be enough.
I can transfer it to you while online. Direct from me to you. No problem.
Great. Thank you so much, Ma. I'll get online with Viv now.
Alright, darling. You know who you're for?
I need to know who you're for.
Contact WIB today for your complete personal online banking experience. Available for all mobile devices. The Wynwood Islands Bank, now your online banking partner in progress.
Who you're for.
Tell them, connecting you.
Last night about 7:30 p.m., the fire department was called for a dump fire here on Pond Island. Upon arrival, the firefighters encountered a huge fire on the old dump. Their first priority was to contain the fire from spreading to other areas. This was not always possible because most of the areas were and still are not accessible to the fire trucks, and the firefighters on the scene were not able to ascertain the exact locations of the fire in the area. Assistance was requested from the St. Martin Police Department. The police used their aerial drone to get an overall overview of the situation, which allowed the firefighters to put a plan together to bring the fire under control. This was achieved during the wee hours of this morning around 3 a.m. One of the sections of the fire area was not accessible to the fire department, and there was a chance of the fire spreading. However, due to the wind direction, this worked in their favor to help contain the fire. On Wednesday this morning, 7 a.m., the fire department carried out a reconnaissance of the area where the fire took place, and at that time, there were still a couple of hot spots and lots of smoke. The department informed me that it is possible that the dump will continue to smoke for some time to come. I would therefore like to ask you, the people of St. Martin, especially those with health challenges, not to venture into the path of the smoke if it's not necessary. All persons with breathing problems should stay as far as possible from the smoke, and to keep all windows and doors closed as to limit the amount of smoke that enters your homes. At times you may not see the smoke, but there could be small particles in the air that can still be dangerous to each and every one, especially persons with breathing challenges. In the meantime, the government continues to work on a sustainable solution to this ongoing problem, and as fires flare up from time to time, our first responders will be there to deal with it. Yesterday, on Tuesday, August 7th, the second grant agreement of the St. Martin Recovery and Resilience Trust Fund was signed with the World Bank in the amount of $22.5 million. The grant will support the implementation of a new social registry system within the Ministry of VSA and will finance the Emergency Income Support and Training Program. This program is a continuation of the Hospitality First Training and Education Initiative that started in December 2017 with the subsidy of the government of St. Martin, as explained by the Minister of VSA. On behalf of the government of St. Martin, I would like to express my appreciation to the St. Martin Training Foundation for making this project possible. As Prime Minister, I would like to express my gratitude to the Ministry of TEAT and also the Ministry of VSA for their tremendous work in the preparation of this project. Without the commitment and support of both ministries, this crucial program for the economy and people of St. Martin could not have been continued. Together with the grant agreement of $55.2 million that was signed on July 12, this second grant agreement brings the total amount of allocated funding of the trust funds to $77.7 million US. This funding will be used to address some of the most urgent needs of the people of St. Martin. While preparing projects with the World Bank, I've always believed that patience is a virtue. I say this realizing that we are nearing the one-year mark after Irma, and many of our people are still suffering from last year's hurricane season. With the start of the first trust fund projects, however, we have achieved an important step in the recovery process of St. Martin. As Council of Ministers, we remain committed to fully seeing the cooperation with the World Bank through to its conclusion and to facilitate the recovery of our island in the best possible manner, ensuring also resilience and sustainability. Throughout the recovery process, proper planning and preparation remain paramount to ensure that the limited available funding is spent in a sustainable and effective manner. As Prime Minister, I continue to ask for the patience of the people of St. Martin as we use this opportunity to rebuild our country. While sometimes frustrating, building back includes taking the necessary time to ensure that our recovery is such of quality that it benefits the people of St. Martin for years to come. And lastly, I would like to caution the general public against unknown persons impersonating and attempting to defraud persons by pretending to be me. This scam has gone on as far as to create a fake identification card, attempting to prove that indeed they're speaking to the Prime Minister of St. Martin. There are several Facebook accounts that has been created, fake Facebook accounts that have been created. The relevant authorities has been informed. And as a public figure, I am unfortunately used to persons creating fake social media accounts in my name, but to create a fake identification card has taken it a step further. I caution the community to remain vigilant and to never release or send personal information over the internet through social media. We live in an era where every online interaction needs to be scrutinized. With technology, it is becoming all too easy to trick unsuspecting persons. Anyone with information leading to the identification of these criminals, because that is what they are, should report to the relevant authorities.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
We support COPI, especially police, with the traffic. How can we divert traffic? How can we maneuver traffic, open areas that are one-way and make them a two-way, for example, turn over the traffic? But we do that in very close consultation, especially with Mr. Hout from the police department. Then we go over to damage assessments. Last year, we were busy spraying a lot of buildings with an O and a B, and people didn't understand what it was. O means unbewohnbar, and B means bewohnbar. So unlivable and livable. And what we were looking at, if the roof had blown off partially, it doesn't mean to say that you can't live in the house. Because if a bedroom and a bathroom are still covered, you can live there, but you lost your living room. Fine, okay, good. You can still live. But if you have no bathroom facilities at all in the house, because those were blown away, then living there becomes a problem. Because nobody will tell me they're going to jump up 12 o'clock at night and they're going to walk down with the neighbor, go knock on the door, tell me, I come to use your bathroom. They're just going to use it outside and they create a bigger problem for yourself and for your neighborhood. So that's the concept of the O and B that came out last year. It wasn't that we were going to knock down anybody's house, but if you had an O, before you rebuild it, we wanted to really check your structure again because there were structural damages, that rim beams were cracked, and so before you just go back and put on a roof, we would really want to see how you're going to do that. That's what those things were for. We also do damage assessment of private properties for emergency assistance and planning. If we believe that the home is damaged beyond repair, we're not going to give you a building permit to rebuild just like that. You're going to really have to go through some things with us. People say, yeah, it's wrong what you're doing, and we tell them, no. When you die, your family will come and tell government, but you didn't do your job, and that's why the person is dead. We have to guard those that don't want to help themselves sometimes. We have to do that. Control on illegal construction. After hurricane, we were confronted with two things. 5,000 homes damaged, and people started to knock up shacks. Do you stop the shacks? The question is, where do you put the people then? If you're going to stop them from building, where are you going to put them? And these are very, very difficult decisions that have to be made at the top. Thank God I wasn't at the top, because it is, as a humanitarian, I'm a lion. In my free time, you see things a little different. Even though I don't condone I don't agree with illegal buildings, sometimes you have to look through your fingers and say, boy, for the time being, you build it, but you build it on your own risk. Because when time comes to take it down, because we have other homes, feel free to go ahead and do that. But like I said, those are very difficult discussions that the present government themselves will be confronted with. Battery up or use Duracell? You gotta use Duracell, you know. It'll go longer. But all right, I can continue. I don't think I need it up there. The assessment of the government buildings also for insurance purposes is done by us. We use engineering firms also, and we make a good review, especially when it comes to the schools. Think on the schools that government also owns, the fire department, and other entities, tax office, all those things, the annex buildings, and so we have different buildings that we go out and do an inventory on. We also have technical support on call, especially with all ESFs, but more in particular sometimes with the shelters. Shelters might have water issues, sanitary issues. They might also have issues of lighting. So what we did with the shelters, we tried to come to an agreement with, for example, NVGB to donate 10 generators, and we hook up the generator directly onto the shelter, onto certain phases of the building. So we don't need the air conditions on, but we would like light, those type of fans, those type of things that you can still keep the temperature, the livable temperature in the buildings. We also do a major assessment on our flora, our fauna, our beaches, especially with erosion, and our monuments. While we are not responsible for monuments as VROMI, we are responsible to ensure that contractors, while cleaning, don't damage the monuments. Because people go around with bulldozers not knowing that those little rocks over there are part and parcel of a monument. And then you take away the little bit that we still have. So we do put some serious time in there, and then we work with that. We have, over the years, and especially last year, we encountered some serious vulnerabilities within the operations. We were not properly prepared, and I don't think it's VROMI on its own. I think we're now talking the government, but it affected us daily, and that was communications. Communications was a major problem because of the damages to the infrastructure. Not many radios, portable radios were available when needed. The military had their own system. So everybody was crisscrossing each other. We had a little problem with that. Hurricane passes was a major issue because last year we opted to try not to use passes to make sure that nobody could get out because of previous hiccups we had in 2014 with Gonzalo, where we had 3,000 passes, 3,000 cars on the road. It don't make no sense anymore. Then we can't work.